Hello, everybody. Okay, we've got Alex and Mr. Toes having a showdown over the window. All right, boys. They're like, you get away from the window. You get away from the window. No, you do it. No, you. Stop, Mom. This is what I hear in my head. I'm crazy. Mom, he won't let me near the window. All right, now. You boys play nice. If you can't share, nobody looks out the window. I'll have to close it. Is that how we have to be? Are you okay? Yeah? Okay. You're upset, so now you're going to come shred my furniture. Excellent. Could always count on you, Alex. Hello, Will. So we did not make a video this past weekend because I was just up to my armpits and stuff. And then, of course, every time I start to film a video, somebody either starts up a lawnmower or a boat. So, yeah. I figured now's as good a time as any, right? Screw it. Right, Chunky Monkey? So there's Chunky. And there's Mama Maggie. And that was Miss Katie. And there's Miss Finn in the kitchen. And there laying down is Miss Lily. And on the other end of the couch there is Miss Marigold. And Peter is curled up as my Pete. He's just trying to pretend that nobody's around him and hoping they'll all go away. Good luck with that, Pete. There's Gus, the little gray fuzzball. Marigold's losing her mind. Oh, now you're in trouble. Uncle Chunk's gonna get you. Uncle Chunk's gonna get you. And there they go. What are you guys even doing? What? Bunch of crazy people. You are a bunch of crazy cats. Not really people, but to me you're people. Here comes Miss Daisy. No, I'm very happy to see Miss Daisy running around and playing, because I had a scare, not really a scare, it was an unfortunate incident. When I came home from work last night, poor Miss Daisy, something smelled horrible when I opened the door, and I thought, oh dear God, what has happened? And I found poor Miss Daisy in the kitchen, covered in poop. She had it smeared all over her. I mean, it was so bad. It was so bad, the poor baby. So I had a feeling something like that might be coming, though, because little Miss Priss there ran up in between all the big cats and ate up all their treats. And I'm like, oh, that's going to end badly. And it did. So the poor baby had the poops really bad for apparently all day yesterday. She at least kept it in the litter box, so I'm proud of her for that. But the poor baby was just covered. Her whole butt was just a mess. So I had to wash her in the sink. So she was very traumatized because we had to shampoo her butt. And she was very, very upset. She did not speak to me all last night. But as of this morning, she was doing much better. And she was much happier. So I'm very glad to see her running around again. So she's feeling better. And I think it's going to be a long time before she jumps in and gobbles up a whole bunch of treats like that again. I don't think she's going to try that again anytime soon. I noticed today when I gave out treats, she went the opposite direction. She's like, oh no, we ain't doing that again. Oops. Focus, camera. Focus. Alright, what the hell? What's going on, Toes? Our camera's all freaked out. There, that's better. And there's Miss Hyacinth. Miss Hyacinth sticking her head out there. What are you doing, Marigold? Marigold chases her tail now. That's her. Oh, you almost got it. You almost got it. Oh, Daisy's going to get it for you. Well, Daisy, at least your butt's white again. It's not that horrible color that it was yesterday. And for that, we're grateful. Oh, there they go. There they go. doing, Chunk? What are you doing? You're a menace. You're a psycho. You're crazy. Go get her. Go get her. You guys are crazy. What you think, Mr. Toes? Say, what are you gonna do with all these babies, Toes? Toes says, get rid of them. I don't want them pouncing in me. Put them back in their room. That's what Toes wants. I'm sorry, Toes. I can't do that now. They're too big. They are no longer content to hang out in a solitary bedroom. They now must run amok, day and night. What are you doing, Chunky? Chunky monkey. You're sillies. Hi, Mr. Toes. Oh, Mr. Toes. Mr. Toes has come for cuddles. We love Mr. Toes. He's so huggable. Right? We love Mr. Toes. You're so huggable, lovable. Yeah. We do. We love you. You are so huggable, lovable. Yeah, you've got some of the best purrs. So you put in competition with that motorboat that runs across the street, right? You do. Oops. We also discovered that Toes is an extreme fan of chicken. Like, duh, what cat isn't an extreme fan of chicken right now? Believe it or not, a lot of my guys don't like people food, but Toes is a people food fanatic. And you have to be careful eating dinner around Toes because he will hover over you like a vulture. Right? You will, won't you? You will hover over me like a vulture. Wink. Those two streaks that just went by was Gus Gus and I don't even know who the other one was. I'll just go back and watch it. Must have been Daisy. There she is. What's the matter? What are you guys doing? You're crazy. That's Hyacinth. Just went leaping. What are you gonna do, Marigold? Go get him. You're gonna let him do it. Where'd they go? Marigold says the best toy in the world is the string that comes under the pull-out sofa bed couch. That's the best toy in the whole world. Besides her own tail. She enjoys that more than anything. Right. See, we're doing the best we can, plotting through the week. It is now, the hell day is this anyway? It's Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon. We got one more day before the 4th of July here. For all my U.S. friends. Nice holiday, but I am and I'm not looking forward to it. Because I gotta try to corral everybody that goes outside on that night. I bring them inside. I make them stay inside that night, even though they're not happy about it. Because of all the fireworks and everything. I don't want anybody to get injured accidentally while the humans are outside blowing things up. So we'll be bringing all good little kitties inside, which there are really only 3 that go outside anymore. Everybody else pretty much stays inside anyhow. But even those 3, I try to make them stay inside. If I know there's going to be bad weather, or if I know it's something like 4th of July, I bring them inside. And, Halloween night, I bring them inside with all the traffic. Because here we have a lot of, on Halloween, we have a lot of rural areas. And I live in one neighborhood, but people arrive by like van loads. It's like an SUV pulls up and it's like a freaking clown car. Kids just like come piling out of it. And I used to give out candy with my sister all the time, and we had a lot of fun, but we pretty much stopped after when the pandemic happened anyway. We stopped because people kind of stopped doing Halloween for a while. But then the price of candy and everything got so expensive. And she lives in a bigger neighborhood than I do. And one of the last times we gave out, which was probably in like 2019, we stopped counting at 300 kids. I mean, it's crazy. They just pull up in the minivans and it's like clown cars that just keep getting out. And it's like, oh my God, but they got more strapped to the roof or something? What the hell? Where all these kids come from? And it got to the point where it would be so much money just in candy to hand out stuff for Halloween that we just couldn't do it anymore. It got crazy after the pandemic. Right, guys, it got too expensive. So on Halloween night, we make sure everybody's inside. Especially Blackie. Because he is a black cat after all. And we don't want some psycho to get a hold of him and do something to him. But 4th of July is the one that's coming up that's got me most concerned. So, what I usually try to do for them to help them stay calmer, because of course, even though they're inside, the sound of, screaming bottle rockets and people exploding M80s and garbage cans, and all that kind of fun stuff that they do, those are not exactly calming to the soul. So, what I usually wind up doing is I pick some, there's a couple of music channels that I have that's got like some soft rock or, not exactly classical, but easy listening, I guess you could call it, soothing tunes. And I make sure everything is closed up tight, and I try to make like as much white noise as possible. I'll put fans on, and I'll run that music or a TV show or something that's got a lot of sound to kind of help drown it out. I'll put the volume up a little bit on the TV, just to kind of help drown out some of the sound of all the explosions everywhere, so that everybody doesn't have an absolute canary, Otherwise we have fits that they go into with, most of my guys are okay. I don't really have anybody that gets the anxiety too bad. Sylvester, he gets some issues, which Sylvester, I think he's hanging out in the bedroom right now. But he's the only cat I have that really has anxiety issues. Where if other cats aggravate him and stuff like that, he gets that thing where he starts smacking his own tail. And it's not like a playing. He actually goes after himself. He will beat the hell out of his own tail to the point where he's cut himself pretty bad once. And he, snarls and goes crazy. And at first you think, it almost looks funny at first because you're like, what is this cat doing? But then you realize he's genuinely freaked out. He's genuinely pissed off, anxiety off the charts to the point where he's just attacking anything that moves, including his own tail. And that's when you realize it's not really funny at all. The poor baby, he kind of flips out. So, he's the only one that I really have to spend extra time with, close attention to, out of everybody. But we're going to see this year how the kittens take to it, because they've never experienced the sound of all that. So, we'll see what happens. So far, they've been okay with thunder. We've had a couple of pretty good thunderstorms. And they just kind of look out the window like, hey, what's that? Yeah, so I'm like, oh, that's good. I mean, at least you're not terrified of it, so that's a good thing. The only thing that they live in mortal fear of is the vacuum cleaner. That's it. The vacuum comes out, and they're just like, holy shit, it's the end of the world. Yeah. But I think most cats have an issue with vacuum cleaners. I actually use it to my advantage, because if I'm trying to get into a closet or something and I don't want them in there, I just put the vacuum in front of it, and they won't come anywhere near it. I don't even have to turn it on. I just roll it over there. And they're like, oh my God, it's the vacuum cleaner. It's Chunky Monkey. So that works out to my favor. But anyhow, I realized that I completely did not make a video this weekend, and now I also realized YouTube sent me a email, and it was like, hey, congratulations on 200 subscribers. And I was like, what? So, for those of you that have joined up, thanks a lot for coming by, and I'm really glad that you're hanging out with us. Just a little brief thing, history, I guess you could call it. I didn't really start the channel to have a channel, so to speak. I had a group of friends that I met during the pandemic online, and some family members that were far away. And I had a couple of rounds of kittens and stuff that I was fostering, and some cats that I rescued. And so I started making videos so that my family and my friends could see how everybody was doing and what was going on. And I honestly didn't think anybody else would ever care, so I didn't bother to make the videos private or anything, or unlisted. I just went ahead and left them out public because I figured, it's just a bunch of cats running around. Who's going to care about that, right? And lo and behold, all of a sudden it's like, congratulations on 200 subscribers. I'm like, really? That's pretty cool. So, it wasn't my intention to gain a ton of subscribers, and that's not a ton, I know, by other standards, but to me it is a ton. And I'm really happy that you came by. So if you did come by, and you signed up to subscribe and see all these crazy monkeys running all over the place, then I'm glad that you did. So, welcome to the crazies, right? Say you don't have to be crazy here, we'll train you. And I'm awfully glad that all of you that did start watching started watching. That's very nice of you. And I hope you enjoy the videos and future videos that I have. And if at any point you decide you're bored with it, don't ever feel guilty about unsubscribing, because it's not going to hurt, feelings or anything like that. It's all cool. Kittens come and go. I get it. When there's nothing interesting to watch anymore, there's nothing interesting to watch anymore. It's not a problem. I totally get it. But I'm awfully glad that you guys did come by, which is nice. It's always nice to meet nice people that have cool ideas. Right, Miss Austin? That's Miss Austin. And that's Miss Maggie. So Miss Austin is actually Gus Gus. That's his real mom. She is kind of an old cat, by outside cat standards anyway. Inside cats live, all the inside cats I've had have always made it to at least 14, anywhere between 13 years old and 18, or 16 years old, I'm sorry. So the ones I have usually live pretty long. Outside cats, however, sometimes can be a whole other ballgame. Because they're in the elements, and if they don't have steady meals, it can be an issue. So Austin was a stray that started hanging around years ago, and I have been trying to catch her to get her spayed for years. She comes in my house, obviously, and she sits there like she's the nicest cat in the world, but you can't touch her. If you so much as make eye contact with her, she will either take your face off, or she will immediately run and go under the heaviest piece of furniture that you own. Just what she does. She is strictly a no-touchy, not friendly cat. But she gets along good with the other cats, even though she ignores me. I exist only to fill her food dish. She'll stay in the same room with me for that. Otherwise, she kind of keeps to herself. So she does at least come inside, which is how I've managed to stop her from having too many litters of kittens, is because I can keep her inside. Because she's willing to stay, in the wintertime at least. But like summertime, like now, she's itching to go out, and I try not to let her out. She escapes on me sometimes, but I don't want her to get pregnant again, because that's the last thing we need. But hopefully I'll be able to get her spayed if they're willing to do it. But she is going to be, or she already is now, 9. She's 9 years old, I think, getting ready to round the corner soon. Or is it 8? No, she's the same age as Finny. I know, I gotta write all this down, because I have so many damn cats, I can't even keep track of who's what. I know for a fact Alex and Katie just turned 9 in May. And then Finney and Austin came the year after. So she's 8, getting ready to turn the corner to turn 9. And she is actually Gus's mom. So she had one single kitten, where Maggie had 4. And she took very good care of Gus for about 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden I noticed she just kind of left him. And having not been able to actually catch her and get her to the vet, because she doesn't fall for traps either. I've tried trapping and she's too smart for the traps. So I might have to resort to, like, I don't know, a raccoon net or something. I hate to do something like that because I know that'll, like, traumatize her, but I don't know of any other way to get this little broad. So, but when Maggie had the 4, a couple of days before Maggie had her 4 on Easter Sunday, Austin had Gus. He was born on Good Friday. And she fed him really good. She did great for about 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden I noticed her, it seemed like he was trying to nurse and it wasn't working out. And then she just kind of left him. And then Maggie kept coming trying to steal him away in the beginning. And at first I was mad at Maggie and I kept yelling at her about it. But then I finally understood, because humans are kind of dumb. It takes us a while sometimes. Then I finally understood that Maggie was taking him so that she could feed him better. So I think maybe because Austin is aging a bit for a cat anyway, that maybe she has some trouble with milk production, especially if it's just a single kitten being born. So I'm wondering if maybe she just wasn't producing enough milk to keep him full, to keep him satisfied and help him grow good. And I think that Maggie somehow knew that. But at any rate, Maggie took him, no problem, and Austin let her take him. And she raised him very good. So he is a strong, healthy little boy. And what I thought was really sweet the other day is, and of course I always see the really sweet moments when I don't have my phone on me, so I can't hit record. But it was Austin and Gus were eating out of the same bowl. So it was Mama Austin and her son sharing the same bowl. And I thought that was a really sweet thing. Because sometimes I don't know if he remembers or not. But I know the way she acts around him, I'm pretty sure she knows and remembers. Because she swats all the other babies away. Like, she doesn't like them, they irritate her, she hisses at them, she smacks them. But she does not do that to Gus. So I think she's like, she gets it. I just don't know if he realizes it or not. But I'm awfully glad it turned out the way it did. I still don't know what I'm going to do with all these cats. I must be crazy. But it's a happy kind of crazy, It's like, is my house always trashed? Yes. Do I have absolutely no money despite having a decent job? Yes. Is pretty much every budget planning I do based around them? Yes. When I go out and have fun and I go shopping, do I buy stuff for me? No. Do I come home with lots of stuff for them? Yes. All the time. Do they break stuff? Yes. Have they destroyed my carpet? Yes. Have they destroyed my chair? Yes. But you know what? It's okay. They destroyed stuff, but they built up something else in its place. That's a little more important. So there were some times where I was pretty down and I was pretty low. And I had a lot of issues. With depression, anxiety, and it was right about that time that Alex and Katie came into my life. And then after that, it was Finney and Miss Austin. And then after that, it was Felix. And then after that, it was, who else? Sylvester. And then after Sylvester, Pete showed up, who actually belongs to somebody I went to high school with. He just hangs out with me. And then after that, Toes showed up. Right, Toes. Toes had a very bad skin infection when we found him, and he almost died, but we got him back to health with the help of the vet and some good food. And then we got Chunk and we got Willow. And now we've got Gus Gus and Lily and Hyacinth and Daisy and Marigold. And I think that's everybody. I don't know. Who else am I missing? Blackie. Blackie showed up somewhere around the same time Toes did. And then Phoebe. Phoebe is related to Maggie. Phoebe is Maggie's sister. And they are both the daughters of Austin. I almost have to have like a family tree. It's like, you know, this one beget that one, beget this one. Ultimately, most of these cats, almost all of them, except Alex and Katie, I don't even know about Sylvester. Maybe Sylvester, I don't know. But except for Alex, Katie, and Finn, everybody can be traced back to Austin, basically. She's either their grandmother, their aunt, their mother, is something. That's Austin is like the great matriarch. So that's where we stand right now. Are you guys done running around like crazy? Is it back to the drawing board? No? Gus Gus wants to play in the water dish again? Like Willow does? Everybody, I finally got them to stop swinging from my curtains back there like Tarzan. That was another thing they were doing for a while. Right, sweethearts? That's my toes. Yeah. So, it's a thing. Do they drive me crazy? Absolutely, they drive me crazy. Am I insane for having so many cats? Yes. Without a doubt, I'm insane for having so many cats. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Right, Toes? Say, we wouldn't have it any other way. We wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah. Because I love all you guys. You're all my families. My best friends, my families. Right? You're like children, and I love all of you. Right. Right, Mr. Toes. Right. Okay. Well, I hope everybody has had a good week so far. And I hope if you do live in the U.S., you have a safe and happy 4th of July. Just please be careful. If you are messing with fireworks, please take into consideration those around you. Kind of, if you can, try to make sure you don't have somebody hanging around your houses or your neighborhoods that has PTSD or something like that. Because, I mean, I get it that it's a holiday and you want to have fun. I totally get that. But, you know, it's not cool if you go overboard with it and you have somebody who's in the middle of like a traumatic anxiety attack. That's not cool. And keep in mind the dogs, you know, and cats and any animals that are outside. They get freaked out by all those loud noises. It's, you know, I get it. You want to see something pretty, but I don't know. I just don't understand why, if you want to see something that big and loud, that you just don't go to a fireworks show, because they're all over the place. You know, go to some place, watch the professionals do it, enjoy yourself, and don't scare the hell out of all the animals and the people that are around you. But I don't know. I guess it is what it is. People gotta have their fun. I get it. They gotta have their fun. I wish it wasn't at the expense of other people's nerves. But it is what it is. So we'll just do the best we can. Right, guys? Right. Alright. Well, I hope all you guys have a good evening. Right, Toes? Toes hopes you have a good evening, too. And we will see you after the 4th. I'll try to check in with everybody and let you all know how everybody did and how things went down and whether or not everybody's okay. All right. Well, you guys take care. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.